Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barely Necessities, where it's wonderful to have heat and cold water. We don't yet have warm water here, so bear with me. I'm a little out of sorts. Uh, I'm Rebecca Mosley, the co-founder here at Laughing Place, and with me is Rebecca Burbank, our merchandise guru here. How
Hi,
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm sorry you're having cold water. That's the most unfortunate thing. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I can flush a toilet and I'm not cold. I'm happy.
Okay, that's good.
But we're here to talk about some Disney merchandise. I'm going to say hello to Geo. I'm going to say hello to Kobe for life. Oh, man. Yeah, Kobe. We are going to talk about merch, and we're starting off with a beautiful doll over at the Disney store.
Yes. This is the 60th anniversary of Mary Poppins, and Disney is commemorating this with a beautiful limited edition doll, which I'm seeing right now. I'm on the site. It's back order. So it hasn't sold out yet, but right now it is on back order. The doll is as we said, limited edition of 4,670, and she's in her Jolly Holiday dress, which I think is her best look. I mean, I'm trying to remember how many different looks Mary has in the movie, but this is the one that is like my favorite. This is what I think of when I think Mary Poppins.
I like that the parasol is pink down here. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing being the pink pearlescence, but I do really like this down here at the bottom. That's the pink embroidery, but the gloves look so delicate, as does the entire dress. Some of the detail work on the sleeves, I can't imagine, at that size. It's very pretty. This is limited edition. And by the way, I like the set piece here that they put this doll in.
I know. You're just missing the carousel horses.
It totally caught my eye when I was looking through the pictures today. So there you have it. Whoever set up this picture, I appreciate your photo work there and your little design elements. Over at Epcot, some new Figment merchandise has appeared on shelves. This is so adorable. It's like a little cosplay sweatshirt.
Yes. I don't love the front. Like, I totally understand what they're going for, and you have to, like, if you're gonna commit, you're gonna commit, right? But I love the color. I love the striping on the side. I don't love the whatever. It's not even scales, but like the chest portion of the dragon.
I got you. It's his. It's like Figment's belly, but okay. It looks kind of like a catcher's chest plate. That's what it reminds me of. Like when you see the guy throw on the chest plate, but before he sits behind the plate. Yep. That's what it reminds me of. Kyle's calling it the Pink Tummy Club. But I thought the detail on the back with the wings and that are actually like dimensional and the horns on the top, and then they even have like the little claws down by your cups.
Yes.
Totally adorable. I, however, would buy the sweatpants. The sweatpants are for me kind of where it's at. I like the design that has the phrasing for Figment, Figment's little catchphrase on it. There it is.
Yes. Yeah, I don't.
Let your imagination soar.
Yes.
It took me a moment, but I remember it. Let your imagination soar. So yeah, those maybe they're leggings. Now that I look at them, they look like they don't have as much.
I think those are leggings. I think the other one, I guess the other one was also the hoodie. Okay, so we got a hoodie, leggings, and then a crop top.
Yeah.
Which I like the crop top.
Really? Here, let me scroll down. I didn't pull that one. Let's scroll down, make everybody see sick. Okay. Oh, with a nice little knot there underneath the Epcot. Yeah, that's cute.
That's done for you, so you're not gonna like tie it too loose or too tight.
I'm noticing also this has an interesting seam down there. I don't know if you can easily tell here. Let me click on it.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's not like just a full t-shirt that then is kind of gathered. There's like an additional little section there. That's really interesting. Geo coming in. that Figment outfit would be something I'd buy for my niece. She loves to dress up. Oh, come
Yes.
on, Figment. You're not going to rock the pink belly club shirt? Okay. I'll let you off the hook. As long as you grab me a shaken Jamaican.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Kyle coming in with the isn't it ironic that they made a cosplay hoodie so that you don't have to use your imagination.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, these are the wonderful thoughts that
That
I get
you
to
marry.
hear on a regular basis. And then it ruins the fun. No.
See, Kyle, the fun ruiner, according to his wife. The company Little Sleepies have brought out a new collection in that Toy Story realm.
Yes. Now, I was not familiar with this until I saw Eric's article here. And I really like this collection because you've got sleep and you've got play. I like the pink and blue selections they've made. I like that it can be completely like gender neutral, or if you want, it can be like, this is the girl outlook, this is the boy look. So
Yep.
it's super, super well done. I'm really impressed with this.
And they look so soft in the picture.
They do.
This is one of those where I'm like, oh, I want to find these on shelves. The cow print skirt for little, oh, that's adorable. They've got these little cuddly figure, like they don't have arms. They're like a little blanket with a head of their favorite characters. Oh,
I think they call them I think they called them Lovies on the website, which I'm like,
yeah. That makes total sense. But yeah, this actually was an item I stumbled on. I can't remember where I saw it, if it was like a pop-up ad in a social feed or something, but it was a new company to me as well. And I just loved the design choices that they made. Like even just the way that the characters are kind of like a comic book or child drawing kind of, rather than being, lifted from the film. Per se. So yeah, I was all about this, and thankful for Erica writing it up. Look at him. He's all
he's okay. That's a Community reference. He's referencing Community season 5. I think it's the
seriously, down to the season. This is how passionate you are.
Yeah, it's the G.I. Joe episode.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go. I only went once through Community, so only made.
I'm sorry. It's like we have a shorthand with it, so I apologize.
I'm trying to remember if I even finished it. But moving on to other fun television, we have a Miss Piggy watch from Oris.
Yes. Okay. This is really expensive for something that I don't think says explicitly Miss Piggy. But that's aside. That's aside from the fact that yes, they have this lovely new watch. I do love the pink color that they have, but I've just never been drawn to Miss Piggy, so maybe that's why I'm a little like, she's not my favorite of the Muppets, but
it's so subtle.
Yes.
So I mean, clearly this is the pink and the purple or magenta kind of color that we associate with Miss Piggy. You have the baguette diamond, very piggy. On the back, you have this tiny emblem. What's interesting to me is they chose to be more overt with their Kermit design, which is the green, but Kermit's on the face. However, he's only on the face the first of the month.
Okay.
So it cycles through, and then he'll reappear. And the way the write up, that was the impression it gave me, was that he pops up. Can you imagine? That'd be so funny. Like, oh, it's the beginning of the new month. There he is. So yeah. And Kyle is asking, because apparently he wants to get you a watch. How much is this watch, Miss Rebecca?
Well, this one's gonna set us back $3,200.
Yeah. So there you go.
Now I know there's a market for the higher end watches. I don't think we've really discussed companies that have something quite at this price point. We did one Star Wars one that was like 150,000, and I think a lot of the times the stuff we talk about with Citizen, those are usually in that, you know, like mid to upper $100 ranges. But yeah, this is $3,200. So you know you're going to be getting something quality, something that's definitely valuable, something that's gorgeous. And, you know, like there's been much love and attention in crafting this. So
my thing is, this feels like there's some products where you're just so passionate for the brand, or because of either its quality or what, and so you end up where it's like, oh, this is a wonderful crossover because you know I already loved, you know, say New Balance. Well, now I can get Mickey on my new, you know, it's that kind of thing. That's how the Oris watch is popping out. But I love this color pink.
I do too. I'm really like, yes, the pink is so good.
This is kind of one of those things where it's like, if this was the price range of watches I purchased, I would take a look at this because I like the colors and I would know it's Miss Piggy.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I fell when I was looking at the
it does feel like something Miss Piggy would wear, and less like a Miss Piggy cosplay. If does that even make sense? Like you're not showing off your love of Miss Piggy. You are appreciating the same quality accessories that she does.
For sure. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day products over at Epcot, and then we'll pop back up. Okay, Becca?
Sounds good.
We've got an array over there. I will let you talk a little bit about it while I pull up the images.
Yeah, so it's, of course, as we were saying, Valentine's Day. So there's some new Starbucks. There's some new ear headbands, this really pretty red sequined headband. Yeah, the Starbucks mug. I saw that this has popped up over at Disney Store. Or I'm sorry, mug, but it's a tumbler. It's a tumbler with the twist-on lid. And I love that they have the reusable straw with the fun little accessories. So if you, if you're looking for something fun like this, you've got the heart with Mickey head on the straw there. I really like the colors that they picked for this as well. There's the spirit jersey. Oh, and the Loungefly. Yes, the Loungefly is super, super cute. So just kind of Mickey and Minnie being sweethearts. Very, very appropriate for this season. And I like that it's just the simplistic, I say simplistic, but just the standard Loungefly backpack.
Yeah.
There's nothing like really embellished about it. It's just a great pattern. So,
but it does have those side pockets.
Yes.
That you can, put a little something in, which is nice. Sometimes it looks like it's a pocket and it's not really, but these are actually available to put a little something inside. I see our guest for today has popped up, so I'm going to go ahead and welcome in Alex Reif to talk about his latest adventure. Where have you been, Alex?
I was just in Anaheim for the Disney Lorcana North America Championship 2025 is, I think, the full legal title.
Right.
Yeah, so this is basically, there were six Disney Lorcana challenge events across North America over 2024, and at each one, I think it was 8 players from each one got to progress to this championship that was held at the Disneyland Resort at the Disneyland Hotel in the convention center there. And there was a last chance qualifier on Friday. So 32 players who came to the Disneyland event for the first time got to enter the top competition, which was, I think, 136 players. And then as you progressed through it, you earned, rare event exclusive cards to add to your competitive deck, exclusive play mats.
Can I oversimplify what Lorcana is, and you let me know if I'm right at all? So what I always see are people sitting across from each other playing cards. And is it in essence like a thematic game of war where certain cards have higher values than others in a way? I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I'm looking at when I see this stuff.
Yeah, I will say I've collected Lorcana, and I have a deep appreciation for the art and the story that goes into it, but I hadn't really played much until this weekend. I got kind of a mini crash course. So how can I simplify it the most? Uh, yeah, it's you're putting you each have a deck of cards that contain heroes and villains that you can send off to quest against other players. There's a kind of a point system called lore, and so as you're battling, you're earning lore. Each round ends when a player gets to 20, and then they are the victor of that round.
Okay.
I've never played Magic the Gathering, but my understanding is that if you had played a game like Magic the Gathering, you come into Disney Lorcana pretty well prepared for the type of gameplay that's here. Um, but obviously, one of the things I love about it so much is that it pulls in some like really niche characters. And so during the competition, weirdly, one of the strongest characters to play with is Hiram Flabasham from The Great Mouse Detective. That's the abducted inventor from Great Mouse Detective.
Wow.
So almost everybody who was playing with, there's different ink types which have different colors associated with them. So I think he's part of the sapphire blue color scheme. But we would see Hiram Flabasham a lot, and it was just funny to listen to the commentators who, are just off to the side, but they're subject matter experts in how to play. They're talking about this and giving their analysis into every move, like this is baseball. And as they're going through, like to just hear them all name dropping Hiram Flabasham was pretty funny. Another cool component is one of the releases along the way had a lot of Merlin variants and a lot of Madame Mim variants. And so Merlin as a fox does certain things, and Merlin as a rabbit does other things. And so a lot of people were like, very strategically, I didn't see Merlin as a wizard very often, but Merlin as a fox and Merlin as a rabbit were also very popular cards in players' decks. So it was interesting to see, knowing the art, knowing the Disney stories that inspire these cards and bring these characters into the Lorcana realm, it was really interesting to see like what cards are actually very powerful. I think my only real exposure prior to this to playing like a trading card game was Pokemon, which I understood pretty well because it was like obviously fire beats plant, plant beats water. Like you could figure out the rock paper scissors of it all. And here it's a lot more minute, the differences between them. But there are still some principles like that. Like steel is one of the ink types. And then, that is obviously a really hard, really strong one, but it's much better at like protecting than it is from causing damage. So like there's all these like strategies. So for whatever reason, I didn't see steel very often as like a main component of people's decks that they could build, and you could only put 2 ink types. So it's interesting to learn more about how the game is played, because I've been just more of a fan from the art style. Disney Lorcana takes like your traditional Disney animation style and marries it with like a Leonardo da Vinci steampunk type aesthetic, and it gets this really interesting result out of it that I'm a big fan of.
Here, let me pull up the pin that they gave out.
And I have it. It here, and they had the pin artwork blown up really big on the stage, so everyone could stare at it quite a bit. But yeah, this is a steel ink type of Cinderella in armor, and this specific artwork, the regular card has different artwork. The artwork that's on this pin was used on a card that you could only get by doing the Disney Lorcana challenges, but every attendee got one of these.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Just from showing up, and it has the like Disney Lorcana challenge logo on the bottom there.
It does have a pin stamp on the back by chance?
It doesn't have the like you can trade this, but it's got the copyright Disney, and so yeah, I'm sure some of these ended up on cast member lanyards around the Disneyland Resort.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, now I had to ask, did you have a tip to follow Edmund? Because I noticed that you picked him in like the 8th round. Because I was traveling, and so I was following your adventures on X, and I saw his name pop up in earlier rounds, but then I noticed, every so often his name was still appearing until we got to see him raise the trophy, as you put it, a la Rafiki and Simba.
Yeah, that was pure luck on my part. I had no sense that he was playing better than anybody or progressing further. It just so happened that within the Lorcana collection, there are these the rarest of all cards are called Enchanted. And again, my frame of reference for every trading card game is Pokemon. But back when Pokemon came out in the late 90s, there were hologram cards that were more rare than the regular cards. And it was like, I don't think they made those cards non-hologram. It was like, it was either a hologram card and it was super rare and you were never ever going to get it any other way, or it was a non-hologram card and you had a chance at them. So within Disney Lorcana, every card in the deck has a hologram component if you want to try and collect that. But then there are these what do they call them? Enchanted cards. Enchanted cards are like metallic. They're like 20 steps above a hologram card. And those are super rare. And the thing that I had always been told is that they're so rare that even if you play the game frequently, you'll never see one because nobody's going to play with their enchanted card, is what I was told. And then here comes Edmund Chu. And obviously these cards are in these sleeves, but he's playing with enchanted cards. He actually had 2 different ones in his deck. But his go-to character, weirdly enough, is Lady Tremaine. And he had a Lady Tremaine enchanted card in his deck. And then he ended up winning the whole competition. And I got to interview him. And I asked a question because he's from Texas, but he had played through 3 different Disney Lorcana challenge events in order to qualify for this one. Like he kept entering and not getting far enough in to make it to the championship. He finally did that. I think he said in Atlanta, but and that was part of his story was like, keep trying. Don't, if you really want something, keep going. It's very much a Cinderella story. But he hasn't seen Cinderella in a really long time, and Lady Tremaine is his favorite character to play with in Lorcana. Like that is his Charizard card for all you Pokemon fans. And because he placed in the top 8 at the Disney Lorcana North America Championship, he now gets to go to the World Championship, which is going to be held at the Walt Disney World Resort. They haven't announced a date yet, but there was a European equivalent of this same challenge to championship progression. So there are, I think, 8 or 9 players from Europe coming to Disney World, plus the 9 players from Anaheim going to Disney World to all compete for like the World Championship. Disney Lorcana. It's the first time they've done that. I think this year was the first year they've done a European Championship. So that's like bigger than you could ever get in the Disney Lorcana space in terms of competitive playing, which is pretty cool. So I gave him the tip that he should go to Magic Kingdom with his Disney Lorcana card. His Lady Tremaine card. He should look for Lady Tremaine. He should get a photo of her with it. The other thing that was funny is some people were playing with autographed cards because they had artists from Disney Lorcana there, and but they've also been going to these other events. So some people had cards that had been autographed by the artists. Yes, Mickey Mouse was there. This was a gift that everybody got, which was this Mickey Mouse variant card where instead of having the text that's normally on the card, it had space for Mickey's autograph. Sorry about my try to obscure my garbage. But yeah, so Mickey Mouse, the one that started it all, signed my card, which is really cool.
That's so cool.
I know. Big celebrity. What a get. Don't know if or when I'll ever get to see him again.
Kyle jumping in to let us know, because Kyle writes a lot of our Lorcana content here, that one thing he likes about Lorcana so far is that these rare cards are all still found in regular boosters. They haven't had a super expensive exclusive dynamic regarding kind of improving your deck.
Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing about the gameplay that is changed by having the rarer, I'd say, variants of these cards. But yes, like that Cinderella Steel, the Cinderella Armored Warrior, whatever they call that card, there's a different artwork version of that in the normal decks. There's this event exclusive version that you get. The same with the D23 cards. Obviously if you're if you're a collector, or if you really like the holographic elements or things like that, you get that premium there. But you can still get the card a affordable way, and you can still play the game. I got to talk to the game designers too. We'll have interviews coming up later in the week, but they really stressed that about other trading card games. That was kind of the dissatisfier, is like you show up to your local card shop or hobby shop, or you just a gathering with friends to play, and somebody maybe spent a lot of money to get like a super rare card that gives them a real competitive edge in the game, and they didn't want that at all. So yes, the secondhand market for some of these rare cards is crazy, but you can still get an affordable version that does the exact same thing for you to play in the game, which I think is very admirable. And then it was interesting to talk to one of the artists named Whitney Paulette, and she was showing me one of her cards. She did an Yzma card, and they did an enchanted variant on it. And she talked about the process of like, I made the normal Yzma card, then I did the like layer that goes on top of the Yzma card. And she said for that wave, everybody else was doing a normal golden color scheme, but because it's Yzma, she fought to get her in rose gold, and they let her do it. And I asked if she had ever seen one of these enchanted cards, because they are so rare, in person, and she said she had just seen one there at this weekend that someone brought for her to sign. And the thing that struck her about it, that she didn't even realize when she was designing it, was when the light catches, one of the like prismatic layers that she put on it was Yzma's eyeshadow. So when the light hits it, it's like her eyes suddenly pop and glow back at you. And so,
so cool.
it was interesting to hear the artist gush over the final product of those rare enchanted cards. Not that I'll probably ever see one that's not behind a glass case or on this LCD screen as someone's playing with one. But it was really interesting.
Before we let you go, Alex, I'm going to let you share with everyone the news that arrived.
Oh yeah. So the next wave of Lorcana that's coming, they always have like a story point, is called Arcasia's Island. We already knew ahead of the championship event that this wave was going to bring in a lot of the furry critters that we love from the Disney animated films. And the big announcement was that this will be the Lorcana debut of characters from Lady and the Tramp. So they unveiled this beautiful artwork of Lady herself. Looks like she is probably from the Emerald ink type, if you are a big nerd like that. And I again, the whole aesthetic of Lorcana, like the way her, instead of her new collar, it's now this like very elegant harness, and she's got this like roaring 20s feathered hat. I dig the whole aesthetic of it, but obviously she's still Lady, and she looks like she could have been drawn in 1955 and put up on the big screen in CinemaScope. So like they're very accurate about character design and staying on model and even staying within the style. So like those Sword in the Stone cards that I mentioned, they have the like Xerox lines around the character. Like they really jump through hoops to pay respects to the art and the artists that came before, which is where I'll be really curious to see down the line. They've already announced Pixar is making its way into Lorcana in the future. I'm really curious to see how that looks when it gets there.
As you point out, because like even here with the plume, it's similar to the collar color that we associate with Lady. Becca, I'm gonna open the door to say, ask you any questions you've got for Alex before we bid him farewell.
Did they have any merchandise? If you wanted to, could you have purchased booster packs or anything like that?
Yeah, so I just did a new post that went up last night that's kind of an overview of the whole show. The event itself was put on by an organization called Pro Player Games that sells. So there were basically 3 outside vendors. Ravensburger themselves weren't selling anything, but there were 3 other like card shops that got to set up merchandise space. And so they had these like glass tables where you could see all of these rare cards. And when I say rare, like you could also pick up cards where it's like, I'm just missing this one Peter Pan from this one set, and it was like $5. It wasn't like everything was unaffordable, but then there were cases with like these enchanted cards where it was like $1,000. There we go. There's the slide. Okay. And so yeah, there were different things like that. They also had a lot of gaming accessories, play mats, card sleeves, basically anything that you would need if you were trying to protect the cards for posterity, but also wanted to play with them. You could get all that. Different lore books, like obviously the official license ones. And then there's a lot of like different companies that make these card holder books. Some of them are like considered to be a more premium quality and things like that. So you could kind of be exposed to all manner of card collecting gadgets there. PAX, you could so every ticket, there were different ticket types, but like I had the baseline, you're just attending for like $50 and it got you in for all 3 days. And those came with these Turbo Zone vouchers, which you could redeem for different experiences. The one that I loved the most was called Pack Rush, and Pack Rush got you 2 packs of Lorcana cards, and you play against an opponent. You each open your packs right there. You take the non-playable cards and use those as instant ink, and you play like a mini game just with the cards you just opened from those 2 packs against each other. And then the winner of those rounds would get variant cards. So like there was an event exclusive artwork version of the Cuzco. There was a Cuzco card, a green Cuzco card. So you would get the non-holographic version if you played Pack Rush. The holographic version you could only get if you were like in the actual championship. And like the championship, there was a Cinderella variant called Invite to the Ball, where it was like a close-up of the invitation exchanging hands at Lady Tremaine's door to go to the royal ball. And so there was like a holograph version that the challengers got who entered the championship, who were admitted into the championship. And so they had that artwork on big display there too. And again, that card you can get, there's a normal version of that card just in your standard decks. This is a wider ratio version of it. So it's like more artwork that was on the other card that was exclusive to the championship, which was cool.
Very cool. Well, we'll have the links below to Alex's coverage. And of course, here at Laughing Place, we'll keep you up to date on what's happening in that world of Disney Lorcana when new packs come out, when there's events. So thanks, Alex, so much for your time.
Yes, thank you.
We will see you soon. Bye.
Sounds good. Thanks. Bye.
That was fun.
I know.
So this was on Twitch, as I understand. So I need to, I think I'm going to have to sit down and watch it so I can better understand, because it seems like a lot of fun and the artwork is gorgeous. They have an app where you can kind of flip through the cards and everything, because it's a way for you to keep a catalog of your cards. And the artwork is really, really beautiful. So I think we were talking, were you and I talking the other day about how we hope, no, I think it was with Tony, how we would love to see them do one of those, you know how they have these like limited after hours Disney party things with weird themes, you know, and so like niche character, we were thinking how fun would it be if they had like a Lorcana evening, and so you'd have Cinderella in that regalia that we just saw or something, you know, things along those lines. So yeah,
and I mean, like it's fertile ground for for costumes, because like Alex was saying, you kind of have this like steampunk look to the characters, or like even with Lady there, where we're seeing what she's kind of got this like, you know, Roaring 20s thing going on there. But it would be amazing to have the characters in like various costumes, you know, have a place to meet them, and different elements of their story.
Yeah, no, just all things Lorcana. We're there. We're hoping for it. Okay. Moving on to Disney travel. Our friends over at Mousefan Travel have a special offer.
They do, yes. You can get a gift card up to $250 gift card when booking select packages for Walt Disney World and Disneyland resorts. So if you book with Mousefan Travel, this is one of their offers. And I believe this is also in addition to the other like offers that Disney has going on. Like what, you know, Florida residents can get whatever percentage off, or sometimes there's a free dining plan. So you still can take advantage of that. But then Mousefan is going to give you a special little gift.
So, and you'll be going to it, and you're booking a trip to a Disney park, right? So you'll just so this is like a way of giving yourself onboard credit.
Yes, right? Exactly.
It's like an onboard credit, but they're within the Disney resort. So be sure to talk to our friends at Mousefan Travel. They will give you a obligation-free quote
Yes.
and answer questions regarding, I know sometimes Disney World travel can feel overwhelming.
Yes.
They will be very helpful in letting you actually vacate.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. It takes the stress out of it. Like you basically say, hey, here's what we want to do. Here's how many people. These are the places we want to go. And they're like, all right, we'll get this taken care of for you.
And your travel planner will make it happen for you. And if a new discount or something pops up that's applicable to your trip, they'll keep an eye on that for you as well. Yes. So definitely reach out to our friends at Mouse Fan Travel. No additional cost. When you book with a travel agent, there's no additional cost to you. In fact, chances are they'll find you a deal, or they'll make you aware of an opportunity that you can take advantage of when booking your trip. Over at is this Mezco? What is?
Yeah, I'm so confused by this. Mezco 112 maybe.
Oh yeah, okay,
like a ratio type thing.
That feels like a ratio thing.
But yeah, I was not familiar with this brand. Eric has done another review for us, and this time it's for their Indiana Jones figure. It's a toy, but it's also kind of, very much that collectible piece. This is, he said it was announced during the theatrical release of Dial of Destiny, but this is clearly a Raiders of the Lost Ark figure. And it comes with so many cool accessories, 4 swappable heads. So you get a different expression. You get all the Indy expressions.
I like from bewildered to angry to, I'm not even sure what that is. I want to say kind of mischievous.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That sly half smile that Harrison Ford is just so good at doing.
I like the various moments in film that you can recall, whether it be the iconic swapping out weighted sand for the idol. They also have this image that Eric got here with the pistol is so good.
Yeah, Eric was commenting in his article about, he was worried that like there might be an issue with the clothing, the soft clothing. Sometimes like you have these jackets and things can be bulky, or when they have to be oversized to fit a figure. And he said that's not at all the case with this, which then reminded me of some of my mom's old Barbie clothes, because the detail to this, and so yeah, I know it's kind of silly, but it almost looks like the clothes that you would put on a fashion doll. And so those have that like more of that fit that's built for the figure, so that it looks authentic. And I'm really impressed with the details just on Indy's shirt, on his jacket. You've got buttons, or even if they aren't actual buttons, you have the look of buttons, you have the look of pockets, all that sewing detail. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah. Like I say, his toy photography with this particular figure was a lot of fun to see. And in fact, it made Doobie tell him, request at some point, when he has another figure like this, that we get to see a behind the scenes how I did this. Because it's just the idea of watching Eric sit there and just pose and fuss with and position this Harrison Ford as Indy doll would be quite a bit of fun to see the magic happen.
Yes. There's one photo that he has in the article where Indy's contemplating how he's going to remove the golden or the fertility statue. And I think it's way towards the end.
No,
there.
That's fine.
But he's got him positioned with his hand on his face, and it's just there you go. It's so good. I really, really love that. I think that's my favorite photo of this entire review.
I would have the fun I would have had if I could have had such inexpensive access to photography when I was young.
Right. I know,
because I have somewhere in my family home is several rolls of undeveloped film, because back when I was a little person, not only did you have to pay for the film in the camera, but then once the pictures were taken, you had to pay to develop. So there were several steps before the pictures would end up in your grubby little hands. Not like now, you just grab and shoot, right? It's so
Well, and
amazing.
also you had like you'd buy specific types of films for
Yes.
different speeds. Like
Yes.
200 was like the standard, but if you wanted a sharper, you would buy like the 400 or the
Yep.
800. And then there was like, yeah, and then not only did you have to have a specialized camera for certain styles of film, but yes, and you only had like 24 shots with one roll of film. So, and you had no preview of what it looked like.
So
You just had to.
You hoped. You'd click the shutter and you'd have to wait until.
And then, yep.
And you're like, oh nope. I didn't know that it'd be like there's a portion of, you think you have a picture of Wayne Gretzky making his way down Main Street and you just have the back end of the truck. Nope.
Right.
No way.
Because there's no way you were going to sit there and click because you'd be done so fast.
Yeah, totally. They don't, the kids, they don't know how good they have it.
I know.
I give my son a little bit of grief of that every time. So the other weird thing is you were nervous to use your camera on the airplane. Like we took a trip this past weekend to Vegas, and our route, we were the route home. When we took off, we took off to the north side of the strip and then turned, and we had a beautiful aerial view of the Bellagio fountains as they were going off by sheer luck. And my son just whips out his camera, is taking these aerial videos of it, and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I remember when it was like all electronics must be stowed. They didn't even want me to have my a video camera or anything like that out. Everything had to be. I was like, look at you getting this beautiful aerial shot of the Bellagio. So it's cool.
Which you can do in airplane mode. Like it's
that's my old person. That's my old person yelling at a cloud moment of the day. Okay, I guess we have another moment like that because these are characters I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I asked Kyle, I was like, we can talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Like, yes, the movie's been out enough. You've had a chance to watch it. So spoiler, I guess. But yeah, Chris Evans is in the film as not Captain America, like you think he is going to be.
Confused.
It's Human Torch, the character that he, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if you'd say originated, because I think there was a Fantastic Four film prior to the ones from the early 2000s. But when Marvel was in its early days here of creating feature-length films, Chris Evans played the Human Torch, and then he Anyway, so this is the version of him from Deadpool and Wolverine. This is a Hot Toys figure. I'm gonna say that I like that very first photo that we looked at. I don't think this looks as much like Chris Evans as other Hot Toys realizations of characters. And I'm a little disappointed. I wasn't going to get the figure anyway because I just don't have the space for that stuff. But yeah, so it's very close, but it's not as detailed as others that we've seen. And that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that you shouldn't add this to your collection, but
okay. So I'm on the same page as you because I questioned the Chris Evans dynamic of it because it doesn't connect with me as Chris Evans when I initially looked at it. And then him having been Captain America in the MCU, to me, I was like, wait, so maybe there's this other, maybe it's like, that's like a middle name, you know what I mean? So when I first looked at it, so it's interesting to me that we both kind of came away from this with it not feeling as perfect as I'm so used to hot toys being. They usually feel like it's a miniaturized version of the individual that will just like walk up, you know what I mean? It's like wow. Yes. So, but with that said, the way that they have realized the flame of the character, this is so dynamic in a static product.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a really, really good way to put that. Dynamic and a static product. Yes.
And
Yeah.
and the notion of the lighting, the way you could play with it with the lighting, that you can, you can capture it. But it's just, I mean, this you can almost see the cyclonic motion, even though it's not moving. It's
Right.
really, I was very impressed by that in the photos. So this is from Hot Toys. This is their 1/6 scale collectible figure of the Human Torch, and now you know all about it.
Yes.
We did it.
We did, yeah.
Thank you guys who joined us. We're usually here on Tuesdays. We appreciate you accommodating my house repairs and showing up today instead. Becca, what got any fun adventures ahead for you?
I don't.
Me
Well,
either.
not like adventures, but here in Missouri, we're getting ready for something called Running from Yeti, and so I've been working with the team who puts on that race. So we're gonna be doing 4 different cities starting on February 8th. And so I'm getting to be all invested in Running from Yeti. So it's not Disney related, but it is, like Run Disney. We're doing several different events. We have a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, well, next week we'll have to have a URL or something we can share with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Online.
Yeah, there's still time to register if you're coming out towards Missouri. You got to get in, run in every state or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. Very cool. Well, I think our boys will be back tomorrow morning with the Disney morning show that we have here at Laughing Place. It's a nice way to start your morning, get a little update on what's happening all around the world of Disney, and then the stories that Laughing Place is covering within that world of Disney as well. But with that, I will say we will see you all next time. Bye. I have to remember to hit a button. There's a button over here that I hit. It's right